So I think this talks to the dropout of women as they move, as they progress through a company. And I'm not going to say management levels anymore because a lot of management levels are disappearing, but leadership roles, women are dropping out. And how are you seeing the programs to stop this, to companies becoming more aware that this is a problem that they need to address? Star, your company's in the middle of these discussions, um, observing companies that are asking for help, that understand that they've got this problem. What do you see happening?
Yeah, I think historically what I've seen as I talk to companies and all the research suggests is that companies have historically focused on diversity, right? So they say, we need more women, right? That's their primary focus. Let's bring some women. They bring 10 women in. They spend all their resources doing it. Then those women, kind of to what Erica was talking about, are left to try to sink or swim, right? They're pushed into the deep end. There's no support. And so they end up leaving. And so inevitably, 4 women leave. The mindset historically has been, okay, 4 women left. Let's pull 4 more women in. And that does not do the job. And so what companies I think are realizing slowly but surely is that diversity is part of it. It's important, but let's not forget about the equity and the inclusion part. Equity being speaking to the fairness. Do you have policies, procedures, support systems, promotional opportunities that are fair across all demographics? And as well as the inclusion. If you're thinking about inclusion, I'm talking about the belonging. Do the women, do the people of color, do the underrepresented employees feel empowered? Can they speak up once they're brought into the door? Do they feel like they can bring their authentic self and that they belong and that they can contribute? And so I'm seeing more companies actually realize that equity and inclusion part is just as important, perhaps more important than the diversity part, and just going out and pulling specific demographics to make sure you have those numbers. Because without that inclusion part or that equity part, you're going to have women coming and leaving in droves. And that applies so much even to now, right? With the pandemic, women in technology, women across different industries. We're seeing women leave in droves. Almost 3 million leaving last year. 4 times more likely as a woman to leave than a man during the pandemic because of these um, societal pressures to balance kids and balance household chores and household needs. And so we're seeing women leave. So it's really important, and it's incumbent as we talk to these companies, let's talk about what kind of things you need to be thinking through to make sure and ensure that your women are staying and they don't continue to leave in droves in these tech industries or beyond because they're having to deal with household things. So really trying to let them and help them and guide them through thinking through, continuing flexible work hours past the pandemic, continuing remote work, providing childcare stipends, because we know very well that a lot of the reason why these women are leaving right now is dealing with childcare. And then really fostering a culture where it's okay for children to interrupt those Zoom meetings. It's okay if women don't want to be on camera at some point in time because kids are running around the background. And really looking at your policies and doing things like analyzing your parental leave policies. Do you have those? Do you have paid parental leave? Are you showing equity by having parental leave not only for the mommy, but also for the dad? And are you encouraging those policies to actually be taking place and not penalizing them, like I spoke to earlier, for taking advantage of that benefit? And that's done by building a culture where people are actually taking their parental leave, right? And that's shown by executive leadership doing that because that's what people will emulate. So there are things like that where you have to be intentional as a company. We're certainly seeing women leave in droves. I'm seeing it in companies. I'm not only just seeing women, but also people of color and other underrepresented people that don't feel like they belong or that they're included. So these are the kind of things we're seeing, and these are things companies have to think through if they want to retain their talent, underrepresented or not. If you don't feel like you belong and you're included, you're not going to stick around. And that is just a travesty because they're missing out on so many benefits of having a diverse workforce, innovation, collaboration. And there's been all kinds of studies proving that having diverse work field and team really contributes to the bottom line. So I'll pause there.